The deal they struck. Returning to the bus, I sense an uneasiness in the air. It looks like Virgilius isn't going to let today's incident go unpunished. Buena suerte, Don Quixote. A pouty Karen and a cold stare of Virgilius awaited us on the bus. The air was heavy with a sense of oppression, leaving little room for light-hearted jokes.
늦었어. 칼은 100까지 샜는데도 너희 안 왔어.
I'm sorry. Oh. She seemed to have a few more words ready to be flung in that icy tone, but Virgilius put a hand on her shoulder and gave her a glance.
베르, 카루는 지금을 기억할 것입니다.
Oh my god.
미안해.
What's happening?
다음에 사탕 사줄 테니까.
Aww. Karen sat in the driver's seat without further complaint, and Virgilius slowly turned to us. What's that all about? If there was one thing the sinners and I were all good at, it'd be sensing imminent danger and making way. Dispersing from the group, we scuttled away into our seats, leaving only Don Quixote anxiously standing in the aisle of the bus.
변명을 듣겠다, 돈키호테.
본인은 핍박받고 있는 약자를 그냥 지나칠 수 없어.
아니, 틀렸지.
Oh my god, the eyes. What? Hold on. Oh, hold on. Did Don Quixote fall unconscious? My vision couldn't follow what happened in that instant. I have nothing to blink, so it shouldn't have been possible for me to miss a moment, and yet... When I caught up with the situation... Oh! Oh, gosh. Look, that dark aura is coming out of him. The first thing that came into my sight was Don Quixote brought to the ground, shoulder trampled under Virgilius' shoe.
나는 변명을 하라고 했지. 네 사상을 변호하라고 하지 않았다.
Dang.
처음이 아니지, 돈키호테. 벌써 3번이나 비슷한 일이 있었다. 네 정신 나간 짓 때문에 3번이나 일이 어그러질 뻔했다고.
Oh my god, it's like strike 3, you're out.
어떻게 생각하지? 말해봐라.
Dang.
본인을 위해 동료에게 패를 끼치기는 했다만.
Wait, how strong is he? That does sound like he broke her shoulder. Don Quixote's pain grew louder, but no one stepped in. Of course, she was being punished for her own actions. But more than anything, it was evident that disrupting this wasn't going to make the situation better.
생각을 물었다고 왜 말을 알아듣지 못하지?
말하고 있지 않았어.
너는 여기서 미안하다는 말을 했어야 해, 돈키호테. 덧붙일 거라면 앞으로 어떻게 할 것인지 계획을 말했어야 했고.
이런... 아까부터 답을 정해놓고 말하고 있지 않소?
모르나? 회사는 대부분 정해진 답을 갖고 있다. 그 답을 맞출 수 있는 길을 물을 뿐이지.
Yes, like it's from the handbook, everything is there. It's also the same like when you're going for company interviews, like, the answers are very, very tailored to a specific question. And dang.
회사가 너 따위에게 의견을 묻고 있다고 생각하면 큰 착각이다.
Mm.
회사가 그렇다면 본인은
지치는군.
Oh my god. Virgilius kicked Don Quixote, tossing her to the floor. Then gripping her fall by the collar. Oh god, look at these two.
입사할 때를 기억하고 있겠지.
What? What went down? Like she also was very honored. She said earlier, like she was very honored to meet Virgilius for the first time. But I wonder what happened. Oh my gosh. Was that, yeah, like she said back in the pawn shop that Virgilius asked her not to interrupt their operations. She can play hero as long as she doesn't interrupt their operations. Virgilius' eyes glistened with a much brighter hue of red than usual. Staring directly into them, Don Quixote soon gave back a nod without another word.
여기까지. 원래 위치로 돌아가도록.
Oh my god. Watching someone who usually exuded pride and confidence quickly shift to such a discouraged, crestfallen state didn't exactly make for a pleasant sight. Though, a deal that got Don Quixote to go silent simply by bringing it up. It makes me wonder what it was about. Yeah, like the way she said it earlier in the pawn shop was, you know, kind of happy-go-lucky, but something deeper than that.
다른 놈들도 마찬가지다. 회사는 자아 실현의 공간이나 사상을 설파하는 장소가 아니다. 취업 규칙을 위반하면서도 돌발 행동을 하겠다면 자신이 치를 대가를 한 번쯤 더 생각하고 행동에 옮기도록.
Like all of them here have many different reasons, right, for joining. But their main focus is to, of course, do their job. Their, as Virgil put it, egocentric dreams and ambitions are like secondary. This adds another flavor to the story as well, because like you have to think of your duty versus your own convictions, perhaps in the future. That's actually one of my favorite tropes as well.
죽는 게 낫다고 생각하겠지만 죽지 못할 거고 프리랜서가 되고 싶겠지만 퇴사가 불가능한 시기를 보내게 될 테니까 말이야.
Like when you sign the terms and conditions in this, it's like not even death will do us part. Oh my god. This bond is stronger than marriage.
그래도 저 양반 아이고 뭐더라? 저 자크 프리더 씨한테 도움을 받은 게 기분이 상했던 모양이네.
Oh, that's an addition as well. Like he was in a bad mood with that already. Zach Freacher. Siegfried. Zach Freacher. Sounds like. He also called those two, Effie and Sod, different names. So, Gregor has trouble remembering people's names. Oh, that's another layer to his character, right? So, are you the same, guys? Like, do you have something of that condition? For me, it's the faces. I cannot recognize people's faces. So Gregor has such a habit of forgetting people's names, especially like they met for the first time. Now imagine which name he got wrong from the sinners when they first met. Like, I'm sure he didn't remember at least one of them. One of their names.
지크 프리트님이요. 본격적으로 작전 시작도 안 했는데 잔소리나 들었잖아. 그러니까 눈치 좀 보면서 행동했어야지.
에휴, 언젠가 한 번은 이럴 날이 올 줄 알았어요. 앞으로는 다들 주의하죠.
At least they're taking it quite well.
둘 다 왜 나를 야리냐? 죽고 싶냐? 알았어, 알았다고.
With the conflict sorted out, the bus finally departed. Looking out the windows evoked a strange feeling in the passengers.
저 인간
Oh. Hold on. Let's go back. Okay. Check those people. They look like they haven't a care in the world. This is way different from the roads we've been through.
아하. 그러고 보니 관리자 양반은 둥지 한복판을 지나오는 건 처음이겠어.
First time after I lost my memories.
둥지랑 뒷골목은 수준 차이가 심하죠. 또 둥지마다 저마다의 고유 문화와 역사가 다르고요.
Yeah, so Rodeo was referring to them as being, you know, relaxed and stuff. Unlike the back streets, it's always a struggle.
전원 집중. 이번에 갈 목적지는 K사의 칼프 마을이다. 그곳
Kal.
어딘가에 로보톰이 집으로 연결되어 있는 통로가 있다는 정보다.
Sinclair, are you okay? As soon as the name Calv was mentioned, Sinclair lapsed into fear once again and started trembling. Familiar. I don't remember if the place Calv was mentioned in Demian, but maybe it's related to the author. As if something were coming after him.
하지만 너희들이 전해준 정보대로 제3의 세력들이 이미 그 지부를 점령 중인 상황이다. 그래서 클리어 부서에 추가적인 정찰을 요청했지.
비포팀의 사정관측 3과가 투입되었죠. 에피와 소드 씨도 함께 하셨을 겁니다.
상황이 어떤지 파악이 되면 그쪽에서 먼저 보고를 줄 거다.
Shortly afterward, the bus entered a quiet woodland path leading to the village. Lush green trees rarely found in the back streets began to decorate the scene, providing a comforting sight, but that was soon disturbed by something odd. I could see an ominous billow of smoke rise in the distance.
왜? 저기 연기가
싱클레어?
카론 꺾어.
Oh.
해피기동 달컹달컹.
Oh. Dang. The bus made a sharp turn to the left shortly before a giant nail flew in and noisily embedded itself in the back window.
어떤 새끼야? 뒤질 뻔했잖아.
이 정도의 가속도로 실험해보진 않았지만 창을 조금 더 튼튼히 덧댈 필요가 있겠군요.
우리를 향해 정확히 조준하고 던진 거다. 아까 비포 팀들이 일컫던 엔사의 직원이겠군.
Yeah.
베르, 메피가 다쳤어. 칼은 슬퍼.
멈추지 않으면 더할 기세군. 전원 하차.
Time to defend ourselves. Whoa. Wow. Wait, they burned the village? This is like the Warhammer identities. Okay. As we got off the bus, a group stood in the way, clad from head to toe in rusty armor, with faded coats of white.
정차. 이 길로는 지나가지 못한다.
Says who?
아 이렇게 말로 하면 될 걸 유리창까지 뚫을 건 뭡니까? 나 참.
선전 보고 없이 공격해놓고는 무례하군. 소속이라도 말해야 예의지 않겠나?
우리는 이단 신문관. 불경한 일을 꿰뚫는 못이오. 죄악을 두드려 다스리는 망치다.
Dang. Inquisitors. Wow, like the Spanish Inquisition? Does that remind you like of the Inquisition from Assassin's Creed? Like they were those who want to rid the world of everything evil.
엔사, 나겔 운트하모의 직원이라는 걸 어렵게도 말하네요.
Nagel and Hammer.
묵과 망치라고도 불리죠.
지금은 2단 신봉자를 정화하고 있으므로 이 앞을 지나갈 수 없다.
Yeah.
2단? 이봐요. 우리는 단지 이곳을 서둘러 지나가고 싶을 뿐입니다. 뭐냐? 관광. 관광버스라고요.
Labeled as tourists, all of a sudden the sinners exchanged looks in silence. To prevent another disastrous first impression, Gregor was doing what he could, even though his efforts fell flat for the most part, to gently appease the armored crowd. He can't make up excuses. Accompanied by an attempt at the kind, harmless smile a tourist would wear.
그래. 저번 광산 때부터 느꼈던 건데 사실 이런 쪽 개그에 욕심 있는 거 아니야?
Yeah, that's what I said just a moment ago.
그런 거 아니라고.
The quivering corners of his mouth roused pity in my heart. I know, he's doing his best.
그렇다면 그대들의 순수성을 증명함이 바르리라.
Dang, untainted, such a word. But look at you, you're the ones who are tainted, mister.
좋아. 방법을 알려주면 못할 것도 없지.
The Inquisitor suddenly pointed in my direction.
저 불경한 여행자의 머리를 베어내라.
What? We are blasphemous? Dante is blasphemous?
그리고
And kneel before our hammer as you consecrate their head to us.
봉헌해라.
Dang.
그렇다면 그대들은 때묻지 않는 자이며 여정의 불이익 또한 없을지니 물론 그 불결한 차량도 두고 가야 할 것이다.
Dang.
보자보자니까 무슨 헛소리야. 야, 아무리 우리가 핫바지처럼 보인다고 해도 그런 걸 들어줄 것 같냐?
Furious, Heathcliff was the first to quit playing as a harmless tourist. Heathcliff, you didn't have to.
가짠치도 않은 것들이 어디서 나보고 무릎 꿇고 그런 거야?
The Inquisitor, as was declared to us, nodded in response.
알겠다. 그렇다면 그대들은 이단이다.
Dang. You know, with that, the group of Inquisitors moved into position at once, ready to attack. Okay, so we're gonna battle them out. But you know, religious corruption is one of my favorite tropes. It's like you think yourself so holy, it becomes hellish, right? So like that, the way you have good intentions to purify the world of evil in theory, but in practice it makes you a monster. It's very questionable. The morality of what you proclaim to be is just not it. It's hardly righteous. Why didn't I read this earlier? Getting back on the bus, Virgilius greets us by casually lifting a hand.
이번엔 상대하기 조금 까다롭진 않았나?
누누이 말하는 거지만 당신이 도와주면 훨씬 빠르게 끝낼 수 있어.
나도 너누이 말하는 거지만 내가 도와주는 건 아무 의미가 없어.
저자들 우리더러 2단 신봉자라고 했어요. 대체 뭘 보고 그러는 거죠?
We're called sinners, for one. I think they were targeting me. Yeah, They wanted your head.
못과 망치, 경험이야말로 가장 중요한 가치란 말하는 날개.
Merceau muttered vaguely. Experience?
인간은 자신의 가치에 맞는 경험과 행동을 할 수 있도록 정해져 있다. 그들은 경험에 대해 그렇게 말합니다.
것들 우리에게 관리자님의 머리를 내놓으라 했지. 그렇다는 건
그들이 또 온 거예요? 잊지 않았던 거죠? 그렇게 찾아와서.
Oh my god, Sinclair. Sinclair was almost having a fit at this point. Did they target Sinclair before? Rhodia looked at him with pitying eyes, but there was little she could do about it.
베르베르, 소리 나는 상자가 시끄러워.
Oh.
선발대에서 연락이 온 모양이군.
Ah, so that's like a radio. Oh. Oh my god.
이리 좀. 에피, 여기는 버스다. 거기 상황은 어떤 것 같아?
Dang. They got to them. The N-Corp guys got to them.
에피?
방금 에피 씨 목소리가 맞았나요? 아니 그보다 사람 목소리이긴 했나요?
Dang.
바람.
싱클레어, 무슨 소리를 하는 거야?
바람 소리가 들렸잖아요. 마지막에.
And you know, in the story in Demian, that's like an indicator for Sinclair. It's like he knows that that guy who bullied him, I forgot the name, that guy who bullied him was calling to him.
그런 게 들렸었나?
그 자식이 온 거예요.
Her!
마침내 우리 마을까지 전부 죽이려고.
Oh my god, look at his expression. Calm down, Sinclair. What do you mean by whistles? And who is this wretched woman?
저를 기다리고 있는 거예요. 그건 저를 부르는 메시지였어요.
Oh. Resentful tears were streaming from Sinclair's face as he rambled.
잠깐만요. 저 앞에 아까랑 같은 자들이.
돌아가요.
Oh, what?
저희 그냥 돌아가면 안 돼요? 가기 싫어요. 돌아가요 제발. 이제라도 운전대를 돌려서.
Oh my god, he's losing it.
꼬맹이, 대체 왜 그러는 거야? 앞에 뭐가 있는데?
가면 안 돼. 전부 죽을 거야. 돌아가요.
I'll bring you back to life, don't worry.
에밀 싱클레어, 쓸데없는 소리를.
Otis was calmly flicking her wrist.
잠깐 기절할 정도로 복부에 충격을 가했을 뿐이다.
이번엔 박자가 맞았군. 당신. 내가 나설 뻔했어.
He was angry. The anxiety is just there, you know. It's trauma and anxiety.
겁쟁이들은 전장이 필요 없으니까. 이대로 버스밖에 버리고 가면 안 되는 건가?
That might be a bit too far.
관리자님께서 그렇게 말씀하신다면.
Otis looked down at Sinclair with a displeased face. Even though he was the timid sort, he's never opposed something so strongly until now. Yeah. This unprecedented behavior of his bothered me. But I couldn't bring myself to ask him why, as he didn't seem to be in any state to tell me. Soon enough, Sinclair came back to his senses. He stared out the window with vacant eyes. The others are all out fighting.
죄송해요. 저도 갈게요. 짐덩이가 될 순 없으니까.
Silent Night. This was what Karen was humming. We've reached the town of Calv. A familiar song welcomes us, followed by the morbid side of trees, festooned with horrifying things. Oh my gosh. Oh. The smoke that was faintly visible through the bus windows covered the whole town.
난장판이네요. 정말. 그런데 어디서 익숙한 노랫소리가 들리는 것 같지 않아요?
나 이 노래 알아. 그 뭐더라. 눈이 더럽게 많이 오던 날만 되면
진짜 힘이 쭉 빠졌는데.
The song evoked various memories in the group. For me, I'm not sure. It's definitely familiar, but it doesn't bring up any clear images in my head. However, I could still feel a faint splash of feeling from deep in my heart. So I wonder what significance the Silent Night is to, like, the city itself, as part of the setting. Very interesting. Also, let's look at this. You know, my gosh, people are getting impaled. Oh gosh, this is, you know, it's like witch burning trials and stuff like that. Like, you're a witch, you need to die. Maybe I knew this song before I lost my memory. This mist of emotion roused inside me, though. It doesn't feel precious or warm. An ache. Oh. Wow, so I think this really goes back to their old games that I have to check out. An inexplicable sting is what I felt.
맞아요. 그날도 이렇게 눈이 쌓여 있고 노래가 들리던.
Oh, the trees before us were decorated with grim ornaments. All sorts of internal organs and mechanical parts were hung from the branches, as if someone put their innards on full display.
이건 너무 지독한 거 아니야?
Yeah, like they made it like a Christmas tree.
클래식. 아니, 키치하군.
Yeah, kitsch is like, you know, poor taste in art.
근방에 생존자는 없다.
Wow, this is so brutal. Then everything finally fell into place. It's just like...
마이크 테스트.
Why did you interrupt Dante's thoughts? Oh my god. A piercing sound caused the group to cover their ears.
모두 즐거운 성탄절 보내고 있나?
Yeah, Noel, Christmas, right?
고요하지는 않지만 거룩한 밤이지.
Isn't Christmas still a fair way off?
네, 한참이죠.
내 이름은 크로머.
Oh!
순수를 사랑하는 파괴주의자 그리고 망치를 치는 자.
Oh, Cromer! Oh! Yes, I remember. I remember now that bully was Cromer, and like, he started everything for Sinclair. Wow. The one who grips the hammer. Is this supposed to be Faust? She was assuming the identity of Cromer in that card.
이곳을 어떻게 넘어왔는지는 모르겠지만 너희는 지금 사유지를 침범 중이지. 왜냐하면 여긴 보다시피 목과 망치가 심판 중인 신성한 구역이거든.
Damn.
장식이 마음에 들려나 모르겠네. 뭐 길은 잘못 들어왔다 치고 지금이라도 얌전히 돌아가주면 너그럽게 벌금만 매겨주지. 왜냐하면 오늘은 성탄절이니까.
A fine is all you have to pay. You know why? Because this bully, you know, they Sinclair kind of lied to make himself look cool in front of Cromer, and it's like they were a couple of kids. Sinclair was 10 years old at that time. They were a couple of kids, and they kind of like told stories of their adventures of doing kind of like bad stuff. And then Sinclair had nothing to say because his family was like kind of a good family, like very religious and overall nothing, they weren't doing anything bad. So he felt a bit left out. So he tried to lie, started lying that he said he stole apples somewhere. Yeah. And then Cromer was egging him like, did you really take that apple? Or did you really steal those apples? Apples again. Okay, apples. And he was saying, yeah, I did. I did. And then that's when Cromer started getting money from Sinclair, because he kind of made Sinclair believe that the owner of that property, of those apples, told him that he will give Cromer a reward if he could tell him who stole the apples. Imagine, Sinclair was 10 years old, and he was afraid that Cromer would tell his lie to his father and to the owner of the apples as well. So it's like, I'll have to keep lying, and Cromer was getting money from him. It's like, pay up so that I don't tell on you. And it happened for a while. And that's when Sinclair actually started lying more, started stealing money from the piggy bank, started just being so detached from his, let's say, quiet life. So yeah. Nativity. So today's the birth. The birth of what?
그 전에 잠깐. 거기 귀도 있어?
Guido.
이곳에 있나니.
오.
혹시 말이야. 거기에 이단이
Merso and Corp. The massive man named Guido, who responded to her, turns to us. He intently stares into each of us until his eyes fall upon me. He gazes at me for a very long time. Although he was wearing a mask, those eyes of his, they froze us completely still, as if his glare nailed us to the ground.
순수하지 아니한 자와 그들의 추종꾼이 함께.
We are the impure one.
그리고 말씀하신 그 아이도.
Sinclair.
뭐야, 내 싱클레어가 돌아왔어?
Dang.
날 보러 와, 싱클레어. 난 네가 알던 그곳에 있어.
Yes, there was a spot where Sinclair would hand the money, that Cromer was demanding. I can hear Sinclair grinding and gnashing his teeth. Yeah, I could hear it too. He made a dreadful noise. I couldn't be sure if it was from hatred or fear.
나머지는 처리의 기도 아니면 내가 나서야 하나? 그래도 되는데.
지는 자께서는 불순한 것을 두드리는 일에 집중하소서.
Dang.
좋아. 우리 정화 작업을 계속하자고. 그럼 모두 메리 크리스마스.
A number of inquisitors gathered around Guido. He stands firm behind them. He's not making any movement, but his presence alone is threatening enough. An intense aura of hostility was radiating straight from him.
힘든 상대였어요. 저자가 완전히 정신을 차리기 전에 우선 도망치죠.
수치스러운 소리를 잘도 짓거리는군. 승기를 잡은 군인은 적을 두고 꽁무니를 빼지 않는다.
지금 군인 정신이 중요할 때예요?
Ishmael is right. That's not someone we can beat easily.
철수하겠습니다.
Otis reluctantly backed down. Sinclair, do you know what that Cromer meant by that familiar spot?
그건
Sinclair shook. He was seemingly overwhelmed with dread. But I could also see a teeth-grinding anger in him that surpassed his fear. Looking at him, a thought blossomed in my mind. You need to talk, Sinclair. Tell us what you know, and you'll prevent half the deaths we might suffer.
작전의 성공률도 올라간다. 효과적인 정보를 기대하지.
I hope I'm doing the right thing as the manager. Sinclair shook his head up upon hearing my words, breathed in, and finally opened his mouth after some struggle.
우리 집이요. 크로마는 분명 그곳에 있을 거예요.
너 그 자식이랑 아는 사이였냐? 아, 젠장. 하도 귀가 찢어질 뚜두서대서 머리가 다 지끈거리네.
No, birds are an important part of the story here as well.
학교에서 만났어요.
저런, 혹시 친구였어? 친구라면 잘 타일렀으면 좋겠는데.
친구 아니에요. 크로마는
Oh.
가족들을 죽였어요.
Oh my god. Oh.
미안해.
A prosthetic head hanging from a tree slowly turned to face us. Lights and sparks occasionally flickered within. Oh my god.
왜 돌아온 거니?
싱클레어, 이웃들이야?
Rhodia asked while looking at the dismembered prosthesis.
그런 것 같아요. 아니었으면 좋겠지만요.
Sinclair replied, watching with a grim look on his face as their bare wires sparked and short-circuited. The robotic head soon stopped moving, only emitting discordant things. Sinclair, why did you return? Was he chased out? Like, did something happen that made it like Sinclair was a curse, and then the whole town told him to leave or something after his family died? Then a song begins to fill the air. All the heads hung from the trees are singing the same song. The carol leaking through the vocal units of so many lifeless heads lands on the flames below. This paints such a picture.
이들에게 이단이란 건 역시 의체 보유자를 말하는 것이군요.
Yeah. That's why they were after Dante.
도시의 의체 보유자들이 보이게 된 지 꽤 오랜 시간이 흘렀지만 여전히 그들의 모습을 보고 이질감을 느끼는 사람들은 많죠.
Because it's like you're not fully human. Is that their reasoning?
저희 마을은요. 저희 마을은 K사 의체 산업의 성지라고 불릴 정도로 주민 대부분이 하이엔드 의체 부품 제작에 종사하고 있었어요.
Oh. Okay. So it is because of the people's livelihood here is related to prosthesis that they think the whole town is a nest of heretics.
크로마는 오래전부터 계속 우리 마을을 주시했던 거예요.
Yeah.
네 가족도
네. 저희 아버지는 신생 의체 회사의 대표였어요. 그래서
아니, 제가 보기엔 이자들에게 그런 거창한 사상 따위는 없어요. 그냥 광기와 폭력에 매료된 미치광이죠.
After a while of staring the Christmas trees decorated with his neighbors, Sinclair turned to me.
관리자님, 예전부터 여쭤보고 싶었던 게 있어요.
What is it?
그 기분이 어떠세요?
Feel?
네. 머리 대신 의체를 달고 있는 기분이 어떠냐고요.
I was a little taken aback since I've never had anyone ask that kind of question before. The issue is that there's no way to know how I might have felt before I got a clock for a head. Yeah, like we cannot compare the experience because we woke up like this. That's...
따지려 드는 게 아니라요. 무례한 질문이었겠죠? 죄송해요.
It's okay. The other sinners were a billion times ruder to me with their daily interactions anyway. I am afraid I can't answer that. I don't remember a single thing about my life before this clock.
그러시군요. 항상 궁금했어요. 머리 대신 다른 것이 자리를 잡았을 때의 기분은 어떤지. 가족들은 모자를 쓰고 시계를 걸치는 것과 다를 바 없다고 말했지만 저는 아무리 떠올리려고 해도 잘 상상이 되지 않더라고요. 그 덕에 저만 유일하게 살아남았지만요.
I'm sure the procedure seemed terrifying at such a young age, but you don't have to feel guilty about that.
아니에요. 그런 게 아니에요. 전 단테 씨 생각처럼 그렇게 무고한 사람이 아니에요.
Sinclair quietly hung his head. I racked my brains for an appropriate reply, but no suitable words of comfort came up. Yeah, so Sinclair basically avoided death, as he thinks, because he was not made, or not any part of him is prosthesis. So unlike his family, they've somehow been replaced by prosthesis, and Sinclair remained a person, or a human, which is why Cromer left him alive. But yeah, Ishmael was just saying that it's not because of that. They're just really, bloodthirsty, and he doesn't have to feel guilty about it. So I really love how everyone is coming together to comfort Sinclair. It's such a heavy burden on his part as well, remembering his family, hearing his neighbors. So yeah. Only the unpleasant sounds of sparks and flames filled the street. Sinclair's hometown of Calv was a village of artisan prostheticists. Faust detailed the growing tendency of the public to avoid prosthesis users as the distortion phenomenon became more frequent. Distortion phenomenon. So this is new to us. Prosthetic bodies pile up like a landfill in the corner of the town. It brings me to think about what my true self is. Prosthetic bodies pile up like a landfill in a corner of the town. I could see that some of them were still conscious, letting out pained moans. The Inquisitors paid no heed. They strenuously jammed nails through each of their victims' chests, over and over, executing their pure intent.
심장을 꿰뚫었을 텐데 신체는 아직도 박동합니다.
필시 철로 덧댄 심장일 것이다. 인간의 본연되는 부분조차 이단으로 물들었고 불결하도다. 살과 뼈를 모독하고 있는 모습이라니.
The Inquisitor began carefully pouring a bottle of liquid over the prosthetic person in what looked like a solemn ritual. Judging from the pungent smell, it was almost certainly oil.
사람의 기름을 머금거라. 이단의 시체여. 불구로도 돌아가지 못하는 자, 연기로 남아 흩어져라.
A lit match was then thrown on the pile, letting rise a huge flame. With the sounds of sparks flying about, the air is soon filled with an acrid smell. It's not quite like the smell of burning flesh. The spreading fire finally brings the crackling glimmer in those prosthetic bodies to permanent darkness.
입으로는 정화를 말하면서 지옥을 창조해 놓았군요.
Yeah. Like this is hell on earth, basically.
목과 망치는 언제나 인간성을 해석하는 데 몰두하고 있었다. 고통도 응당 겪어야 하는 경험이라며 의체를 달고 있는 인간을 비난하던 자들도 있었지. 이렇게 행동으로 드러냈던 적은 없었지만.
One thing about prosthetics, though, I've never tried one. I have never been able to experience something like prosthetics, but it's not exactly painless. There was a line in Gregor's Liu section 6, that he said he couldn't feel pain in his arm. So this ties into that as well. But in real life, prosthetics can have many different effects to the body as well. There are a lot of factors that would affect the relationship between your body and its mechanical extension. It's like sometimes if you get sweaty, or if you get too cold, because it's a different material attached to your body, so it's not always equal. Sometimes there's phantom limbs, pains, aches, rusting. I think in Full Metal Alchemist, if you could see, if you remember that the automail that Ed has sometimes is really painful to wear as well. So yeah, that is just like another outlook of using prosthetics and stuff. But yeah, this is a fictional world, and of course to them, it might have been advanced and stuff that people would never feel pain from a prosthetics, but they're not immune to health problems as well, or to death in general. Like, they could die. They could get splattered by a garbage compact, if you could remember the Chechu boss. Yeah, so it's just really the way these fanatics, the N Corp guys are. It's just very backwards and corrupt.
아니, 아까부터 들었던 생각인데 왜 그렇게 N사에 대해 빠삭한 거야 당신?
Are you from N Corp, Merso?
내가 엔사 직원이었어.
Oh, okay.
어? 아니 저것들하고 같이 일했다고?
Wait, does that mean the identity? So that was what he looked like. Like, he also went to purify these people. Merso, oh my God, you were killing people, but like everybody kills people. So were you a purist too, Merso?
저들과 같이 일한 적은 없지만 소속의 관점에서 본다면 그렇다.
Okay, so you were not in this specific department. Come to think of it, this might be the first time I've heard Merso actively talk about himself. He would rarely recount anything related to him. Perhaps he felt it wasn't necessary to speak at all.
왜 진작 말하지 않은 거야? 그럼 당신도 저런 괴상한 무기를 지니고 다녔어?
굳이 이야기할 필요가 있나?
뭐? 야, 그럼 내가 너랑 저 새끼들이 같은 편인지 아닌지 어떻게 구분해야 하냐? 난 말이야, 관리자 저놈을 시계대가리라고 부르고는 있어도 머리를 자르고 불태워도 싼 놈이라고는 생각하지 않아.
Aww, you're warming up to me, Heathcliff.
말만 번지르르하게 정원이 뭐니 하고 있어도 내 눈엔 그냥 사람 죽일 명분이 필요했던 미친놈들이 보일 뿐이거든. 말해봐, 너도 저 새끼들이랑 똑같냐?
그런 것에 대해 생각하던 시기도 있었지. 같은지 다른지 답을 내놓지는 않았지만.
그럼 지금이라도 답을 내놓아 보란 말이야. 넌 관리자 놈이 명령이랍시고 마을 사람들의 모조리 쳐잡아 죽이라고 하면 그대로 따를 셈이야?
꼭 답을 내놓아야만 하나. 그 일이 업무를 처리함에 있어서 도움을 주진 않는다.
Perhaps it seemed like it was getting personal.
사원은 명령에 따라 움직이는 것이 규칙이다. 베르길리우스, 그자가 내놓은 취업 규칙에도 적혀 있을 텐데.
But I guess that is a good peephole into what Merso could have been before.
관리자가 행하라고 하면 행할 뿐이다. 내 생각이 필요하다고 말하면 제공하겠지만 그럴 필요도 없는 상황에서 나불대는 버릇은 없다.
뭐? 너 돌았냐? 너야말로 머리를 깡통으로 교체한 놈들이랑 별반 차이가 없어 보이는데?
단백질이 16%, 수분이 60%, 무기질 7%로 구성되어 있다는 점에선 명확한 차이를 띠지.
I'm built different. I'm built different.
또한 불필요한 중금속은 나의 구성 요소에 해당하지 않는다. 그 또한 차이다.
Heathcliff's face contorted with frustration. Merceau was already an enigma, and he only felt ever more distant after this conversation.
하지만 전 예전부터 쭉 궁금하긴 했어요. 단테님을 정말 인간으로 봐야 할지 말이에요.
Dang. You had that thought, Honglu? Didn't you think I was human?
그게 무슨 소리지?
그러니까 단테 씨가 말하는 건 단테 씨가 아니라 저 시기일 수도 있다는 거 아닌가요?
뭐? 우리가 진짜 시계 따위한테 명령받고 있었다고?
정말 멍청한 발언들이네요. 반박할 의욕도 안 생겨요.
A reach.
그래도 전 지금 시계 머리를 한 단테 씨가 좋아요.
Yeah, it's like, would I be a different person if my head was back to me? Am I Dante because I'm this clock face and not because I'm someone I forgot? What is the real me, or which is the real me? The head that I've lost or this clock face?
그럴 리는 없겠지만 진짜 머리를 되찾은 단테가 갑자기 엄청 못된 놈이었다거나 하면 어떡해.
뭐 우리 중에 관리자 양반의 과거에 대해 알 법한 자는 한 명밖에 없지.
Faust. Gregor's eyes naturally fell on Faust.
그 부분에 관해선 비밀 사항이에요. 심지어 보안 등급 최상이죠.
Highest security level. But Virgilius knows as well, right? And I get the feeling I won't be able to read it for myself. It's only natural. I have no idea who or what I originally was, so I had nothing at my disposal to refute Honglu's light-hearted accusation. Maybe he's right, and I really am just a clock. Even if I ask Faust, there's no telling if she'll give me the real answer, or I wouldn't be able to discern the truth in such a thing either. You know, they won't give us any information first because we need the golden bow. They need us to retrieve the golden bow, and who knows, maybe they'll tell us after that, but I don't know. Can we count on that? There's even a slim chance that the real Dante is hidden away somewhere, and that I'm some advanced imitation trained to believe I have free will. Oh, this is starting to get deep. I mean, even deeper. In any case, sitting here and ruminating won't get me anywhere. Who knows, maybe I'll mount this thing on the wall when I find my real head. Ishmael sent me a chastising glare for even suggesting something like that, but she had no choice other than to shrug. Well, it's true. Fortitude. I can only feel pity for Sinclair's struggle to repress his fear. In looking at me, he is soon reminded of an old friend.
자, 이제 어떡할까요? 지금 저희가 조용히 이동하기만 하면 다른 신문관들에겐 들키지 않고 지나갈 수 있어요.
단테 씨, 저 미리 죄송해요. 아시다시피 저는 다른 분들처럼 전투에 많은 경험이 없어요. 그래서 저놈들에게 계속해서 심장이 뚫리게 될 수도 있어요. 그래도 버텨주실 수 있나요?
Oh my gosh. Sinclair was trembling so badly that it'd be pitiful for anyone to witness. I could tell he was desperately trying to suppress his fear. It wouldn't be the first time Sinclair has died. Whenever he bit the dust, I made sure to bring him back. But today, he's newly asking for my understanding. He looked determined to confront them directly, even if it means he'll die again and again. Because, like, this will be his choice. Like, when they confronted all the other enemies before, in the course of the combat, he'll die. But this one, he is probably choosing to fight. That's why he asked for, for that pardon. A feeling quite unlike the Frida's usual battle evokes. Maybe he's holding the kind of fear that comes with a certain courage. Yeah. In that case, are you scared, Sinclair? Aww. Sinclair suddenly turned around and gave me a startled look. Did I say something weird? Hold on. I think this line, Demian said this.
아니요. 오래전에 같은 걸 물어보았던 친구가
Yeah.
생각나서요.
Sinclair opened his mouth after a brief pause. His voice cracked.
전 히스클리프 씨 말에 동의해요. 의체 머리를 가지고 있어도 단테 씨라는 사람이 달라지는 건 없었을 거예요.
Yes. Dante is Dante.
그리고 우리 가족들도 마찬가지였겠죠.
Thanks, Sinclair.
아니에요. 이제부터 질리도록 죽을 테니 너무 고마워하시면 제가 불편해요.
Oh. Just as I realized that I forgot to ask what he said in response to the same question his friend had, Sinclair had already charged into the fray. Oh. Bonfire. We arrived at the Sinclair family estate. Crucified prosthetic bodies await us in the courtyard. One of them is someone we can't bear to see straight. I wonder. Oh my god. Damn. Oh. I know. You know, the car pagodas were really good, but this one, the imagery in this one, I'm speechless. Oh my god. It's like Vlad the Impaler went by and yeah, struck everyone. But like, how do they do this? Like, you know, nails should be falling from the sky. Do they have like a machine gun that rains nails of these sizes? It is so brutal. Sinclair's home was the largest mansion in the neighborhood, standing at the innermost part of town. One could see from a distance that a huge flame was engulfing the estate. I took a moment to try and imagine what this town could have looked like during its peaceful times. To bring to mind the times when the trees we saw near the town still had lush, verdant leaves. How Sinclair would have been during those times. Or when everyone around him had died. I couldn't paint a clear picture of either happiness or despair. Nonetheless, I only hope that Sinclair can brace himself for the misfortune he'll soon have to face.
정말 심하네요.
Yeah. A courtyard that could have once been a vast, flourishing garden was now full of nails erected tall. A variety of prosthetic bodies were pierced by those towering nails. And the house was enveloped in ferocious flame, ready to consume everything around it. While everyone's attention was drawn to the prosthesis, Sinclair's eyes drifted to a corner of the yard.
무덤들이
What?
파헤쳐져 있어?
Following his gaze, I could see 3 graves that were violated. Sinclair's expression alone was enough for me and all the other sinners to guess who they were for.
부관참시라니 마귀가 따로 없구려.
Right? This is so disrespectful. Dang. Yeah. Oh. Father, mother, and sister. The family he mentioned. That's where they should be resting.
잠깐. 거수자 한 명, 전박이다.
휘파람 소리.
아니, 아무리 생각해도 너무 웃기잖아.
Someone walked out of the burning household. Her laugh was simply sinister in every way imaginable.
썩지도 않는
Whoa.
몸뚱이를 정성스럽게 묻어놓는 거 말이야. 그치?
So she does resemble the Faust identity. Burying bodies that can't even rot. So they were prostheses.
그래도 여기 꼬챙이들 중에 잘 찾아보면 찾을 수 있을 거야. 내가 어디에 꽂아놓긴 했거든. 내 말 잘 들으면 위치를 알려줄 수도 있는데. 어때, 싱클레어? 여기까지 찾아오다니 많이 용감해진 것 같은데? 시체들을 쳐다볼 용기도 기르고 온 거 맞지?
대체 이렇게.
Sinclair couldn't even speak properly.
비포 팀들은 어디 간 거지? 이 지점까지 왔다면 모습을 보일 정도는 돼야
Yeah. Effie and Sod.
아, 싱클레어 친구들. 같이 숨어들어온 다른 쥐새끼들을 찾나 봐.
Whoa.
좋아, 좋아. 잘 봐. 내가 조명을 켜줄 테니까 눈 크게 뜨고.
Oh my god. Effie. Oh my god. His leg. He's missing a leg. Oh. And an arm too. Wait. So was he wearing a prosthesis? Oh. Oh my god, he's still alive. But he's impaled. Effie was barely breathing. His limbs have been cut away, and deformed prosthetics were crudely lodged in their place. Aww. He was too mutilated to even speak a single word. Like, this one feels like it's been skinned. Looks like muscle.
저대로라면 온전히 사망까지 걸리는 기간은 평균적으로 이틀이에요.
Oh. That's a lot of suffering. No, I would rather just end it here than wait for 2 days.
장대에 서서히 꽂히면서 고통은 배가 되겠죠.
You have to remove him from there. Then.
관리자님, 저는 사람을 최대한 고통 없이 보낼 방법을 알고 있습니다. 쓰였던 적이 많은 기술이라 말이죠. 명령을 요청해도 되겠습니까?
I looked to both Gregor and Ishmael. They gazed back at me and, as if in acknowledgement, dropped their heads low and bit their lips. This is so hard. Like, do you think if we finish everything here and we were able to get him down that nail, do you think he'll survive? I understood what that meant. But like, yes, sometimes it is mercy enough that you end it here.
편해지도록.
Oh my god. We didn't even get to see Saj, just probably dead. The collar of Otis's clothes brushed against the wind. Then silence. And it's then broken by Cromer's roaring laughter. Can you imagine? Effie couldn't speak. I mean, those two were also starting to grow on me. Like, remember I said about first impressions? They were a bit hostile in the beginning. They just have sharp tongues, but, you know, they were starting to come around. Then it's broken by Cromer's roaring laughter. Wow. Wow. She looks so good, though. At the same time, I could hear something else break.
어차피 다 같은 꼴이 될 텐데 챙겨주는 꼴 진짜 웃긴다. 싱클레어, 이러니까 옛날 생각나지 않아? 그때 네 표정도 진짜 볼만했었는데.
크로마, 너는 죽어야만 해. 그게 맞는 것 같아.
Damn.
넌 내 손에.
He was interrupted by the sound of a nail. Hold on. Okay. We thought we had felled him with our best. But not a scratch was on his body now. It was as if all his injuries healed in that short time. Seeing him walk towards us in perfect condition fatigued the sinners. Gosh, he looks so good too. I am such a fan of armor. Especially something this holy looking and royal. Rendered speechless, all they can muster from their hearts is a deep groan of content.
기도, 나머지는 왜 처리를 못한 거야?
용서하십시오, 쥐는 자시여. 제가 미력하였기에.
항상 경계해야 해. 저 망할 철판떼기 머리에는 뭐가 숨겨져 있을지 알 수 없거든.
명심하겠습니다, 쥐는 자시여.
재회는 끝났으니까 나는 다시 돌아간다.
You're not going anywhere. Cromer turns around to walk into the burning mansion. Oh.
돌아와. 내가 널 이 손으로 쥐어잡고.
Sinclair's voice actor is really, really good.
아니지, 싱클레어. 항상 그랬지만.
A long smirk dances across Cromer's entire face. It's hard to tell if it's the violent blaze or Cromer's vice that is consuming the other. And then...
쥐는 건 나야.
Wow. You'll die by my hand, but... No, I am the one who grips. Oh, I love that. And look at her. The music here is amazing. I love this. Damn. The music here is so good. No, this is very cinematic, but there's kind of rock vibes. Oh, that was good. The ground shook as Guido finally fell. Ooh, finally. I couldn't help but wonder if we really did him in, yet we were too exhausted to bother and take his helmet off to check his breathing. Well, we only did it one try, so we're good. Wow. Sinclair was repeatedly jabbing his spear into a dead Inquisitor. The corpse was mangled beyond recognition, its blood and organs spilling all over the floor.
싱클레어, 진정해.
He didn't seem to care about anything other than the body he was set out to destroy. Occasional pants of rage and tearful gasps were all that came out of his mouth. I knew stopping him was the right thing to do, but no one dared to step in. It was evident that he was too blinded by ire to listen to us.
정신 차리게 하는 방법은 생각보다 참 간단하네.
Yeah. At that, Don Quixote suddenly jumped Sinclair and pinned him to the ground. And then she started laying into his face. It's almost like a parallel of what Virgilius did to her, but like one fist thrown after the other.
이거 말려야 하는 거 아니야?
Remember, if he was going to be, stuck in that madness, his ego will corrode.
냅둬. 분내나는 싸움 따위.
A cloud of dust rose from her ruthless beating. After a while, Don Quixote caught her onslaught.
어떤가? 정신이 좀 드는가? 미안하네. 나도 종종 흥분이 몸을 잠식하면 곱비 잃은 말처럼 날뛰곤 했지. 그럴 때는 내 옛 친구들이 정신 차릴 때까지 나를 두들겨 패곤 했다네. 그렇게 해야만 정신이 드는 때도 있는 것 같더군.
아하, 그러니까 베르길리우스 씨하고도 친구 관계라는 거죠?
I just said this.
그게
Oh, Sinclair. Oh my god, I just saw the word. Okay. I'm sorry for laughing. This is such a intense scene, but when I saw this word, I was reminded of Virgilius' horse. Virgilius the horse. And there is a meme called the horse plinko. Horse plinko Virgilius. I'm sorry, okay.
가만두지 않겠어. 우리 집으로 가서 그 개새끼한테 말뚝을 쑤셔 넣을 거예요.
The rest of his sentence was overrun with pained sobbing. After a while of sniffing, Sinclair finally seemed to calm down as he put his hand to his face and started muttering.
전 하루아침에 모든 걸 잃었어요. 그때는 저들이 못과 망치라는 이름을 내세우지도 않았고 저렇게 많은 인원으로 공공연히 다니지도 않았어요. 하지만 자기들을 망치라고 하는 자들이 하나둘씩 마을에 들어서더니
됐어, 꼬맹이. 거기까지면 됐어.
Rhodia gently pat him on the back.
아직도 생각하곤 해요. 나쁜 꿈속에서 아직 깨지 못하고 있는 건 아닐까? 매일 아침마다 잠에서 깨서 눈을 뜨기 전에 항상 이번만큼은 익숙한 우리 집의 천장이.
This also happens in the story. After he said that, he broke into tears. It only made sense to wait for him to settle down. In the story as well, Emil Sinclair would have very bad nightmares and he would vomit, he would suffer headaches and all that, and he wasn't feeling well. So I think the way we saw in the bus earlier how anxious he was, that he literally vomited on the floor, is a very nice tie-in here when he said about the nightmares as well. And that's something that always bothers him, to the point that he becomes physically sick because of it. Before we continue, I'm really glad that, they're really reassuring Sinclair a lot, and it's just, you can see them coming together, like finally trying to understand each other and, support each other. I love that. Even Rhodia, we can see the contrast in how people were with Gregor and with Sinclair, probably it's got something to do with age, because they treat Sinclair like a kid, and Gregor is like this old military guy who can handle himself. But deep down, Gregor is also struggling. I really wanted them to hug Gregor in the end, but understandable, because it was like the first part and everybody was trying to get a feel of each other. They don't want to be invasive, like Dante didn't know what words would be able to console Gregor in a way. I'm glad that their relationships are really starting to form. We barely managed to defeat Guido, but Sinclair seems to be struggling to endure the immeasurable guilt weighing down on him. Underpass. Sinclair showed us to the basement with a suspicious passage. Faust assumes this tunnel was made by the N-Corp staff. We entered the charred mansion, and Sinclair led us to the basement. When he opened the door, a long underpass leading to an unknown destination was revealed to us. To think there'd be a tunnel down here. Like, what did they do with Sinclair's mansion? Like, they made it like a headquarters.
아마 제 짐작이 맞는다면 이 통로가 로보토미 집으로 이어지는 통로일 거예요.
지하실에 대체 왜 이런 수상한 통로가 있는 거야?
원래는 없었어요.
뭐? 그럼 우릴 어떻게 알고 지하실로 안내한 건데?
나침반이 북쪽 방향에 이끌리듯이 그냥 느낌으로 알 수 있었던 것뿐이에요. 그거 아니었나요? 저희를 가지를 향한 나침반으로 쓰려고 데리고 다니는 거.
Yeah. Sinclair quietly looked at Faust. Like, they should be reactive to the bow, right? Instead of answering him, she strode past him and stood before the door.
재질을 보아하니 비교적 최근에 만들어진 것 같군요. 아마 엔사의 파견원들이 이곳을 점령하며 만들어 놓았겠죠. 짧은 길은 아닐 거예요. 그들만을 위한 통로인 만큼 적들을 마주칠 가능성도 다분하겠죠. 준비되었으면 출발하죠. 그렇게 쳐다보지 마세요, 단테. 저는 아무 말도 할 수 없을 뿐이에요.
Yeah. So like when you sign a non-disclosure, you really can't give away even the little stuff. But the sinners are actually starting to put pressure on Faust. Not exactly directly, but they kind of mention that she knows everything, the only one who knows the behind the scenes. And it's actually the first time that somebody pointed it out, that they are there to attract the golden bow, which is really, really so good because it's Sinclair, right? The meek kid, the quiet kid, the one who doesn't like to fight, is here and saying that to Faust as a matter of factly, but also with a little bit of bluntness and coldness to his tone, and you can see his expression darkening earlier. So yeah, I think that is a very good representation of his emblem, which is the symbol of an egg cracking, right? Am I right? I could vaguely picture out in my head, but I think it was an egg cracking with some weeds. But anyways, yeah. So Sinclair in the story has so many highs and lows. He's crying, he's anxious, he's beating things up with rage, and that is so flavorful. Yeah, so in this part, he is really beginning to crack the egg, I guess.